Hello creatives! Masking is an amazing feature available in Adobe Illustrator. As you can see, the deer image is masked through a paintbrush stroke with a blending mode that is giving a vintage effect to the poster. Here, the word sale used multiple masking options to develop this wonderful result. Here, the bottom of the word cage is masked to make a feeling that the word is standing below the tiger. On this music poster, around this singer face, we have used masking with the blending mode that is giving a wonderful effect to the poster. Some of you may be thinking, why shouldn't we do the photo editing in Photoshop? Well, in some cases I prefer to do it in Illustrator, where I don't need to jump back and forth from Illustrator to Photoshop. Also in some cases, I prefer sharpness or detailing in my works. If you are a beginner to Illustrator, this tutorial is going to give you a detailed idea about two important masking options available. Once you learn it, this is going to be a very helpful option for you. And if you know something about this masking, you may jump to the tips and tricks section to save your time. So, what is a mask in Adobe Illustrator? It means assigning one or more solid objects to show and hide through these objects. So it's like a shelf with a transparent glass. We can see inside through where there is a transparent glass. So without any further ado, let's jump to the tutorial. There are two types of masking. One is clipping mask and the second one is transparency mask. Both masking has its own features. Let's talk about clipping mask first. As you can see, I have an image here with an empty frame on the wall. I want to place some objects inside the frame and I have it ready here, a butterfly PNG and a text and a vector drawing of a plant. I will copy and paste above the background layer. And we'll make some adjustments. Now I will draw the mask. Make sure to keep the mask layer above all the object. I'll just rename it. The color of mask doesn't matter because once it is converted to mask, it will be an empty or no fill object. Now select all the objects including mask, but we don't need to select the background. Let's lock the background layer to avoid accidental selection. Now, with the selection, right click and select Make a Clipping Mask. See, all the selected objects are inside the mask layer now, that is above we just created. The mask can be created in any shape like circle or triangle or any custom shapes. But the limitation of clipping mask is we can only create one mask at a time. Let me show you what I mean. For the same example, I will draw two rectangles. Then select all to make clipping mask. See, it's only masking on the top object above the layer. If I drag this layer above and then trace, now it's masking on that layer. Some geniuses like me will try to group the mask to do the trick. But that won't work. Now it's an empty object. Let me undo the last action. So what's the solution here? We can make two copies and do the masking 2 times. It will solve the issue here. But that is not probable. Because what if you have 10 or 100 rectangles to mask? It will take hours to do that. Also the file size will increase, that will affect the performance of our computer. So there comes the second type of masking option that I mentioned before. This one is called transparency masking. If you cannot find this panel, go to Windows and select transparency to view it on your screen. Now there are few things you should do before applying this mask. First, make sure the color of the mask is white. And the second thing is to group the mask. Now let's try to do the masking. Select all the objects. Make sure the mask layer is above on top. Then click on Make Mask button. Wonderful, isn't it? Let me show you another example to give you an idea about the use of transparency masking. I have a guitarist image here. And I am thinking to add few text and a guitar vector drawing as a mask on this image. I have already made the design here. I'll copy and paste above the background image. As you can see, it's not a text object, it's an outlined fill object. And the guitar is made using many shapes. If this is just a text, we can mask easily using clipping mask option. but as we have more than one object as mask, that won't work here. Now let's repeat the process. Amazing, isn't it? Now we just learned about two types of maskings, but there are a few more tips you should learn about these maskings. Let's talk about the clipping mask first. What if I want to edit an object inside the clipping mask? How can we do it? There are 4 ways to do it. We can make editing with or without going into the isolation mode. Let me show you how to do it in isolation mode. Select and right click on the masked object we have just created. Then select Isolate Selected Clipping Mask. Now we will enter into a new room with all the objects in the mask. To exit from isolation mode, either we can press Escape key in the keyboard or double click outside the object or click on this left arrow. We can also enter isolation by doing a double click on the mask. These are the 2 methods to edit isolation mode. There are 2 more ways to do the editing easily, and these are my favorites. Open the layer panel and locate any layer. You will see a tiny circle on each layer. Clicking on it will make a selection on the object. Then you can make the adjustments. The last option to edit outside the isolation mode is by using direct selection tool. This tool will help to select each and every object separately. And to make adjustments, just pick the related tools like the move tool or rotation tool or any other tools. I prefer the last 2 methods as it's helping to save my time from going back and forth from isolation mode. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to tell you, we can change the shape of the mask we have already created using the direct selection tool and pen tool. We don't need to remove masking to do this. We can also change the mask shape by selecting it from layer panel, then use direct selection tool or pen tool to make adjustments. Now let's learn how we can change or edit the object in the transparency masking. Almost all the methods we have used for clipping mask will work here to edit each object. The only additional option is here, this link and unlink option. It will show as linked in default with mask and objects. Unlinking will help to move, rotate or scale the objects together without affecting the mask. Once it is masked using the transparency masking, you will see 2 squares with a link icon between. The thin blue line shows the current selection. In this case, the background is in the selection now. Changing the selection will help you to make the editing to the mask without releasing the mask. One more additional option is here to invert the mask. Just unclick the clip and take the invert mask. We'll make an opposite masking to the objects. Let me add a background here to show you the exact result. There is 2 more very helpful options available in the transparency panel. One is blending mode. As I said at the beginning of the video, these blending modes will bring unexpected result to our designs. And the last option is the opacity to adjust the transparency. These 2 options will work on all the objects in the Illustrator, not just only on the masks. And the last thing we will discuss is how we can add or place an object into the clipping mask. If the object is from within the Illustrator, we can just copy it and place it inside the mask by going into the isolation mode. If the object is from outside the Illustrator, go to isolation mode first, then we can use the place option from the menu and place it where we need. We cannot add or place an object into transparency masked objects. We have to release the mask first to add and use make mask option again. I think that's all I know about masking options in Illustrator. Please comment and let everyone know if I missed something about the masking. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next video. Till then, bye.